go to 313presents.com or ticketmaster.com because they're moving quickly. It's about that time. Let's meet our main event. LANI Moana, a professional boxer who became the first New Zealand-born boxer of Maori descent to become two-division world champion. She has held the IBF heavyweight title, and she is the current IBF light heavyweight champion. She is the fourth boxer of Maori descent to win a world title, all the way from New Zealand. Please welcome LANI Daniels. She captured gold not once, but twice in the Olympic Games. She has held multiple world titles across different weight classes. She is the first boxer, male or female, to be undisputed champion in 3 different weight divisions in the 4-belt era, and has done it all only in 16 fights. She goes by the quote. Give it up for Michigan's own Clarissa Shields.
Try to cure my addiction, I relapse. They want me to fall now and stop rap. You still hating on me? Homie, we off that. I got that new flow. Okay, let's go. Credentials so overweight that they call me sumo. Mr. Jones, nobody could ever hold this. My words soak through your veins. Call that shit osmosis. #1 greatest, all-time hated. Still outspoken, I'm my all-time favorite. Almost famous, me, I'm never nameless. Unsigned hype, ain't no other way to state this. #1 record, #1 draftee. A one-man show, one-man army. Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see, man. Float like a butterfly, sting like me. Thinking that you're better than me? The champ is here! Nah, boys, plain to see. The champ is here! Haters talk when I step in the room. The champ is here! Jaws drop when they see what I do.
She's gonna even up that size. LANI Promotion presents this undisputed heavyweight world championship fight. Undefeated Clarissa has all 4 belts on the line for this one. Shields hails from Central Michigan, home to some of the boxing's all-time greats like Tommy Hearns, Floyd Mayweather Jr., the great Emmanuel Stewart, just to name a few. And it's televised around the world on DAZN, free for subscribers. Special thanks to our sponsors, M Select Luxury Water, and our partners at 313 Presents, who own and operate Detroit's most popular entertaining venues, from Comerica Park to Little Caesars Arena, just to name a few. Clarissa Shields has been inspiration to the youth of Detroit, the state of Michigan, and children all across the world. Her story inspires self-confidence, resilience, and gender equality. Like Shields, the DBG is also inspiring and nurturing to children of Detroit. The downtown boxing gym is a multifunctional athletic and academic facility. It's not just about boxing. It's not just a boxing gym. In fact, it's multiple classrooms. They have STEM labs, computer labs, along with dedicated teachers and counselors to support children in all aspects of education. And me growing up in the tough streets of Brooklyn, New York, I'm a subject of programs that are similar to this one that encouraged and inspired me. So Leader Promotions and Clarissa partnered with the DBG for this event to align these two inspiring principles. So speak a little bit more about the DBG. Please welcome Emmanuel Smith, Chief Programs Officer of the Downtown Boxing Gym. Give it up.
Thank you, guys. First, I want to give a big shout out to Ms. Shields, to Dimitri, the promotions that have us here. We have about 40 youth that are out here to be able to experience this. So thank you guys for having us. Real quickly, I just want to speak on the work that we do and how it connects to Ms. Shields and her journey. One, like Ms. Shields' journey is a blueprint for what it means to own your own future, or better yet, to be an architect. Clarissa had every reason to point out broken systems, the barriers stacked up against her, the voices that said you can't, but instead she chose belief in herself, and belief in what could be. And that belief in creating your own, or being an architect, or your definition of greatness is what we call advocacy. And that's what we try to spark, not just advocacy, but yes, to be able to advocate for who you are and what you are trying to do. And that belief is called agency. And that is what we try to spark in every young person at DBG. Every day when they come in, we want them to be agents of who they are and where they are going. So we believe in our youth. We believe that they can go above and beyond in everything that they do, whether it's sports, whether it's academics, whether it's advocating for others. Just like Ms. Shields, when she made it and is continually making it, she didn't just knock down her door, but she left the door open for everybody that came in, that needs to come in behind her. And that's what we do in our village. That's what we push in our village, that as we grow and as we go higher, we pull everybody up that needs to come up with us. So thank you again for this opportunity. It's a real privilege, and yeah.
Give it up, give it up. He's a decorated amateur boxer from former Soviet Union by way of Brooklyn, New York. Had a stellar pro career before transitioning into the business of boxing. Salida Promotions began in Brooklyn, but Dimitri made his home and business based here in the boxing-rich city of Detroit. Let's welcome Dimitri Salida.
Thank you, Ak. Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, Floyd Patterson, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Clarissa Shields. The undisputed heavyweight world title has always been linked to American greatness and to American champions. It's very difficult to win it, and it's much harder to keep it. The last American heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder, lost the fight not too long ago to Joseph Parker. You know where he's from? He's from New Zealand. LANI Daniels, like Joseph Parker, has the heavyweight world title. She's the current light heavyweight world champion. She's determined. She's skilled. She was 2024 New Zealand Sportswoman of the Year, and she has nothing to lose and everything to win. And she's coming with it on July 26th. Across the ring, we have the GWO Clarissa Shields, two-time Olympic gold medalist, four-division undisputed world champion, current undisputed heavyweight world champion, making the first defense ever of the women's heavyweight world title. Right here in Detroit on July 26th, live on DAZN. The city of Detroit and the state of Michigan has been home to some of the greatest fighters in the sport. The Joe Louis Fist in downtown Detroit is one of the symbols of the city. Tommy Hearns, Floyd Mayweather. And then, for many years, there was a standstill. No big events took place, no great fighter to carry the city forward. Then came along Clarissa Shields. This beautiful Little Caesars Arena was built. Howard Handler became the head of the building, And together with 313 Entertainment, we have had the chance to bring back world-class championship boxing to the city of Detroit. And July 26th is going to be bigger and better than ever. We really could not have done it without the help and the support of Mr. Howard Handler, and I would like to invite him to talk about the event. Thank you, Howard.
All right, welcome everybody. Third time is a charm. It's great to have everybody at Little Caesars Arena. As Detroit's premier live entertainment company, 313 Presents is extraordinarily proud to partner with Salida Promotions to bring the quote back. I want to thank Mark Taffet. I want to thank John David Jackson, LANI Daniels, and John Conway for being here today. This marks the third consecutive summer where we're doing big-time boxing here at Little Caesars Arena, featuring Clarissa. This is quickly becoming Clarissa's house, and we're excited to have a third fight. Clarissa defended her title in June of 2023. Last year's historic victory made her the first female boxer to win titles in 5 different weight classes. So she is truly carrying championship boxing on her shoulders, bringing it back to Detroit, and we really appreciate that. Let's give her a round of applause. Now, everybody knows that Detroit has incredibly rich boxing history, from Joe Louis to Tommy Hearns to Hilmer Kente, so many more. It's with great pride that we have the downtown boxing gym in the house, or as Quali says, the DBG. Can I hear it? Guys, you're all here? Make some noise. Also inspiring youth, we've got the new Kronk Gym that's going to be moving just right down the street. And Dimitri and Salida Promotions are obviously making their mark. Now, here in Little Caesars Arena, in addition to the Detroit Red Wings and the Detroit Pistons, we are very proud to host some of the world's biggest sporting and entertainment events. We've hosted numerous NCAA championship events since opening the building in 2017, and look forward to hosting both the Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament and the NCAA Men's Basketball Regional in 2027. In 2028. We recently hosted the 2024 NFL Draft, and we had over 750,000 people in downtown Detroit. Really epic and historic. Those events, along with the NCAA Final Four, which will be returning in 2027, have made our city a destination for sports fans all over the world. We welcome all boxing fans to come check us out and experience our city. You will not be disappointed. Mostly, we are all looking forward to July 26th. Tickets are available at 313presents.com, and I will turn it back over.
We're going to bring Dimitri back up here because this is not the only matchup on that night. There are a lot of other fights, and Dimitri's going to break it down.
Thank you. Thank you, Howard. The city of Detroit is home to some of the greatest boxers in the world of boxing, and Claressa Shields has opened the door for that possibility for us to be able to showcase some great local talent. And on the undercard, we have Camille McLeod, who's here. Clarissa promoted middleweight from Flint, Michigan, USA, Jaquan McElroy, Develle Smith, Price Taylor. We already announced 2 women's fights. One of them is promoted by Claressa Shields, Samantha Worthington, Clarissa's teammate, fighting for the WBA interim world title. It's really going to be an incredible night of boxing and culture. The big boss, Rick Ross, is walking Clarissa out into the ring. My man, my brother Papoose, is here supporting Clarissa and supporting the event. There's going to be many more surprises, and it's really going to be an epic event. I'm telling you, if you bought a ticket, save it, because it's going to be a collector's item. Ticket sales are going better than ever. We're going to open up new sections to accommodate new demand. This is going to be an incredible night of boxing. I'm telling you, this is going to be historic. Those that can't make it to this historic event, watch it live on DAZN, but certainly those that are in the area in Detroit. As a boxing fan, man, I promote this event, so I'm going to be here, but this is one of those can't miss events. We're looking forward to July 26th. Thank you so much. And now for the main event of the evening.
Okay, yeah.
Walking to the ring to battle with her is her trainer, John Conway, and I'd like to bring him up to the podium to say a few words.
Kia ora, Detroit. Back home, we've called this fight the American Dream, and I'll tell you why a little bit later in the story. I've been training LANI Daniels for a while. I watched her as an amateur. I always thought she'd be a good professional fighter. And a number of years back, we started training together. She had some impressive wins, and we got an opportunity to fight for a WBO world title fight, which we fought, and we lost. So we thought that retirement was next, and that's what happened. She retired. About a year later, doctor comes knocking on the door saying that we have weight issues and diabetes is knocking on the door, so we need to get fit again. So all Arnie wanted to do was fit into her fight shorts. So we trained up, and I thought, let's have a fight. So it gives yourself some meaning behind this training. So we had a fight, and we did 2 fights and 3 fights. And before you know it, we came high in the rankings again, and we got another world title shot. This time LANI won the title fight. So that was about 3 years ago, and now today, I'm standing right next to the world's best woman boxer. And this is why it's the American dream, and we're living it. 3 years ago, LANI was retired, and now look where we are. But we're going to go further than that. We're going to win this fight because we're coming at you with different techniques. I have a Muay Thai background, so our punches will have different timing. Our punches will be coming from different angles. And I've watched some of your fights, and some of the girls, they're not up to you. They're not up to scratch to box you. So we're not going to box you, we're going to fight you in a Muay Thai style.
Yes, bring it.
And this is how we're going to win. And we'll take home the belts and the American dream. So I'm going to call up LANI now to say a few words.
Talk your talk. John? All right. Now we got LANI.
Kia ora tātou katoa, te mea tuatahi me mihi au ki o tātou matua nei te rangi. Nāna te timatanga me te whakaotinga o ngā mea katoa, no reira tēnā koe. Ki te whare e tū nei, Little Caesars, tēnā koe. Ki te papi takoto mai rai waho, tēnā koe. Kia rātou mā kua whitu haere tia, haere. Kia tātou mā te hungore hui mai nei tēnei rā, ki te whakamana, ki te tautoko te kaupapa nei. Tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa. Hi everybody, I thought I'd address you in my native tongue, Māori. I'm not sure if many of you have heard of Māoris before, but we're the indigenous people of New Zealand. We're a warrior race, and in our culture, whenever we get up to address people or introduce ourselves, we start off with acknowledging our Father up above. We acknowledge the house that we're in, we acknowledge the people that have gone before us, and we also welcome everybody, acknowledge everybody that's here that's come along to support this mean event. And yeah, so that's how we do things where I'm from, and that's been something I've been born and bred. I was humming and hawing because I don't have any other Māoris here to understand what I'm going on about, but I felt it's only right that I do what I know. So it's an honour, it's a privilege to be here. I'd like to thank Salita Promotions, like to thank Mark Tefford, like to thank Clarissa for fighting me. I know if you're a boxer, everyone knows who Clarissa is, and it's an honour to share the ring with you. And one thing my coach has taught me is to respect boxing, and it will respect you, so I'm planning to come here and win. And I've been preparing, and I am preparing the best that I can to give a mean fight. And I know it's going to be an entertaining one, and the only way I'm going home is on a stretcher. So thank you for having us. It's awesome to be here. Much love. Thanks.
Mark Taffert is one of the most accomplished television executives in boxing, having pioneered HBO pay-per-view and generated hundreds of millions of dollars to fighters and the business. And he's one of the leading managers in boxing, one of the first to know and see that Clarissa Shields will be a superstar. Give it up for Mark Taffert.
Thank you all for coming out. All the kids here from Downtown Boxing. We love having you here. We love what you do in the city. And I just want to make sure you know that courtesy of Clarissa Shields, on July 26th, every single one of you is going to be there live as her guest at that fight to watch the GOAT do what she does. Beautiful. We're proud of the city, and we're proud of kids like you doing what you do, and we can't wait to have you there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the road to GOATness. No, I didn't say that wrong. Not greatness, the road to GOATness. In 2016, after having won her second Olympic gold medal, I met then 21-year-old Clarissa Shields. She told me her goal was to be the greatest female fighter ever. I said, like Charles Atlas carrying the globe, she was going to carry women's boxing on her shoulders to heights never imagined. She smiled and she just said, let's go. I knew we had a generational, if not a once-in-a-lifetime talent. As I said many times, Clarissa, Floyd Mayweather, and Roy Jones are the three greatest fighters I've ever seen. And so we put together a plan to make history like no fighter, man or woman, had ever done before. With ferocity, with surgical precision, inside and outside the ring, we went to work. In her very first pro fight, we went for a big statement. Clarissa fought Franchon Cruz. Everybody said we were crazy. You don't do that in your first fight. Nobody does that. Well, I knew we had a Bronco ready to bust out of that gate like no one had ever seen. It was a great fight. It was a great win. And the world was on notice. In just our fourth fight, we got undefeated, unified, 168-pound champion Nikki Adler in the ring. Again, the experts said we were crazy. It's only 4 fights in. Yeah, we were crazy. Clarissa landed 136 punches to Adler's 5. One of the most dominating performances I've ever seen in 35 years in my career. She won her first world titles in just her 4th fight. And you know what we said? We're done at 168. Thank you. We got work to do. We got to get that second division world title. In our 6th fight, we got 160-pound world champ Hannah Gabriels. As someone noted, in round 1, Gabriels knocked Clarissa down. Everybody stood and was screaming in shock. I sat there quietly and filed my nails, and I said, wait till you see what's going to happen now. Clarissa got up. She won every single second of every single round for the rest of that fight and won a demonstrative, unanimous decision. And in that fight, she became the fastest man or woman ever to win titles in 2 weight divisions in her 6th fight. We didn't waste a minute. In our 7th fight, we beat Hannah Rankin, and we added a 3rd middleweight belt. Now we had the bait we wanted to land the fight and the fighter we want. Undefeated 24-0 champion Christina Hammer. In just her 9th fight, in what was at that time the biggest fight in women's boxing history, Clarissa completely dominated Hammer, and she won her first undisputed world championship as a middleweight. Again, with history as her goal, we did the unthinkable. We walked away from the 160-pound division that we had just become undisputed in, and we moved down to 154, where in our 10th fight, we defeated Ivana Habazin to win the unified junior middleweight title, and Clarissa became the fastest man or woman ever in boxing history to win world titles in 3 weight divisions. Now we had 2 belts. We had to finish the job at 154 quickly. So we cornered then unified champion Marie-Eve Decaire, And in her 11th fight, Clarissa again made history to become the fastest ever man or woman to be undisputed world champion in 2 weight divisions. Once again, we did the unthinkable, and we walked away from those belts. Why? Because it was time to pursue the mega fight and avenge the only fight in her life where Clarissa didn't walk out with a W. Clarissa's 13th pro fight against Savannah Marshall at the O2 Arena in the UK would become the biggest fight in women's boxing history. But not so fast. 2 nights before the fight, Queen Elizabeth passed. The country shut down, and we thought our dreams were going down the tubes. We got in a room, we locked the doors, we spent all night in that room, and when we came out the next morning, we agreed that the fight was going to happen in just 30 days. Well, you know what happened there. Clarissa gave a masterful performance, soundly defeating Marshall and becoming undisputed middleweight champion for a 2nd time. After Marshall, Dimitri and I sat down with Clarissa and we said, what are the next mountains we're going to climb? And we quickly said, light heavyweight and heavyweight. I remember Clarissa chuckling and her eyes lit up, and then she said, let's get to work. So we quietly, but with the speed of a rocket, lined up heavyweight champ Vanessa Janice, creatively found a way to fight for both the light heavyweight and heavyweight titles the same night. And with a devastating KO, Claressa Shields quickly became a 5-division world champion, just her 15th fight. We immediately left the light heavyweight division. In her 16th and most recent fight, she knocked down and defeated 6-foot-tall Danielle Perkins to become the undisputed heavyweight champion, first ever for a woman, and to become the first ever boxer, man or woman, to become undisputed in 3 weight divisions. So here we are today. Guess what? The whole world now knows who's the GOAT, the greatest woman of all time. And you know why? Because she didn't just achieve and break all those inconceivable records. She did it in 16 fights. The math is impossible. It can't be done. Never before, never again. Unless, of course, you really are the GOAT. That 21-year-old gold medal winning big smiled kid from Flint I met in 2016 is now a 30-year young woman on top of the world, and she is just getting started on her journey. So now it's my pleasure to bring up to the podium our champion, your champion, and the world's champion, Claressa Shields.
Hey everybody, I'm so happy to be here. First, I want to give an honor and thank you to God for even making this, making this happen. I want to give a shout out to Little Caesars for having me for the 3rd time. Salita Promotions, my promoter, my manager Mark Taffet. We got Win Records. We got 5120 Entertainment, Papoose support, and just all the media that's here, my fans and my friends. It means a lot, It means a lot. So I fought here last year, I believe, and I knocked out Jonas to become the heavyweight champion. And you guys, never in a million years did I think I would be fighting at heavyweight. It just doesn't sound good to me to be a heavyweight woman. I kind of think of somebody calling me fat or something. And I remember when they told me that we were going to go from, 160 and we were trying to get more fights and none of the girls would fight me. And then they said, well, we're going to go to 175, heavyweight. And I remember telling them, like, why would I go up 2 weight classes for? And I remember Mark talking about you said you're the GOAT, ain't you? And I remember just kind of laughing. And when they announced it, that I was fighting at heavyweight, it got a really big buzz, and I didn't think that it would do that with women's boxing, And then that's when I start finding out about the girls at heavyweight. I see LANI DANIELS and Vanessa Jones and Danielle Perkins. And even Hannah Gabriels was up at heavyweight, the girl that dropped me back in 2018, who I won the fight against unanimously. And I just remember, okay, I got some fights there. So the girls at the heavyweight division are not afraid of me, which is good, because the girls who were a little bit smaller, they said that they weren't afraid, but they were very intimidated. So now, as I've been having some of my biggest fights up at heavyweight, now we have, after I just beat a woman that was very, very highly avoided, and I think she was highly avoided by all y'all, you know, and that's LANI, Jonace, Gabriel's. Everybody avoided Danielle Perkins. The only person who didn't avoid Danielle Perkins was me. And I went in there and I whooped Danielle Perkins' ass. Okay? So now that we're back here again, we got LANI Daniels. One, I thought the fight wasn't going to get made. You know, Mark sent me an email and he was like, hey, looks like LANI doesn't want to fight. So when he said LANI didn't want to fight, I was like, what you mean she don't want to fight? She told me she wanted to fight. So LANI can test to this. I DM'd her on Instagram and I said, hey, what's up? Are we going to fight or not? You know, and I said, like, are you scared of me too? And she inboxed me back and she said, yeah, I'm a little bit scared of you, but I can still beat you. That's what she said. And I said, well, if you can, well, I'm trying to give you an opportunity for you to beat me. So let's get the contract done. She said, I'm just trying to negotiate. I said, listen, negotiate your money. But come get inside the ring and prove your point, because honestly, I don't think there's no woman in the world that can beat me in a fight, you know? Clock it. You know, honestly, I'm looking at LANI. I don't know who's tougher, you or your coach. Yeah, I have been doing my research, and I've been hearing your coach talk more shit than you know? Excuse my French, kids, you know? But he said there's a lot of flaws in my game, you know? And I was looking at my film myself, and I said, I wonder if he see the same flaws that I see, that I've been fixing. But I hope he's not spending too much time watching film of me, and he watching film of LANI. Because that's who skills he gonna have to fix up. That's who he gonna have to get together. That's who make the mistakes. He said something so interesting today. He said, they're not gonna come in there and box against me. They're gonna fight me. She gonna brawl. Baby, you do that, LANI. If you come in there and you let your coach convince you to do that, you're gonna be out quicker than what I thought. I was giving you the round 6. You come out there and try to stand there in front of me and brawl with me, I promise you, you said stretcher today, you will be going out on one. It's best. It's best you use your skills and tighten up that defense and keep them hands up. Because all them other girls you fought against, they may have been a little bit bigger, but they were not as skilled as me, and they wasn't as sharp. They wasn't as fast. And I'm trying to tell you, to be fighting here, we're going to fight in front of 19,000 people. I'm going to lay your ass out, and then your coach going to run in there, and he going to try to pick you up. That's what's going to happen on July 26th. I did not come to play around. All these girls do all this talking. What they going to do? July 26th, get your ticket. You don't want to be there late. This fight is like the female Mike Tyson. You don't, because I'm telling you, you don't want to brawl with me. You don't want to do that, but I want you to. I don't think you strong as LANI. I don't think you strong as Danielle Perkins. What do you think? You think you strong as Danielle Perkins? Strong or stronger?
I'm sitting here now.
Huh?
I'm sitting here now. I'm fighting you next. I'm not worried about her.
But do you think you could have beat Danielle Perkins? It's just a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
She
I'll
said-
beat her.
She says she can beat Danielle Perkins. So maybe after I beat her July 26th, you'll fight against Danielle Perkins, because all y'all girls are scared of Danielle Perkins. And y'all girls scared of me too.
I didn't even know Danielle Perkins before they fought.
What do you mean? Ain't y'all all up at heavyweight?
Yeah, but I didn't know who she was, and that's
That mean that you're not-
honest
so-
to God.
That means you just not paying attention to your weight class, because I knew who all y'all was before I came to heavyweight.
You said it at the start that it's not cool to be a heavyweight, and for me it was about fitting my fight shorts. So health is wealth, and that's my fight.
But that was 3 years ago. You've been back 3 years now. Yeah. Okay. So that fight's over with. You done conquered that. So we here now. And like I said, it's a fight. It's a fight, and I'm happy that LANI and her team came over. I have a lot of respect for y'all. I really do. I just really hope that when you go to the gym, I want you to know something. I look like this now, right? But up in 5 weeks, I'm gonna come with my braids in straight to the back. I'm not gonna have on no makeup and no lashes. My neck and my arms gonna be a little bit bigger than what they are now. So I'm telling you all this, so hopefully you prepared. And my legs, they a little fat right now, but they're gonna be muscular. They're gonna be muscles when I see you next time at the weigh-in. So I'm just telling you this, so that when you come, don't come looking all like what's going on. I'm telling you so you aware. Make sure you go to the gym and you train your ass off. And coach, make sure you watch every last one of my mistakes and you try to capitalize off them, because if y'all don't, it's gonna be a real early night. And that's all I got to say. I'll see y'all July 26th. Well, the greatest.
You know, Clarissa talked about things that she fixed up, so I want to acknowledge John David Jackson, her trainer, who's been doing a phenomenal job in her career, so let's acknowledge him. I got a couple of questions. First, I want to ask you, LANI, you mentioned about the cultural, tribal, indigenous, you know, people that you come from, right? Like, what from that would you pull to take into this massive fight against, you know, arguably the best fight in the world?
I take them with me. So she's not going to just be fighting me, she's going to be fighting those that have gone before and those that are going to be coming after. And it's spiritual.
What do you say to her, you know, making it seem that you are the one that needs a lot of fixing and your coach has a tough job ahead of him to get you ready for her? What are some of those flaws that she sees of you?
What she sees in me.
Yeah.
My God, I suppose.
Like you mentioned that she has holes, but she said that you're the one that has more holes, that he has a tough job to get you ready for her. How do you respond to that?
I don't understand the question, sorry. I've been on a big flight over here, so I'm a bit on cloud nine.
Clarissa, when I asked LANI in the back just to confirm that she was a champion at light heavyweight and held the heavyweight title, before I left, she mentioned, yeah, and don't forget, future undisputed heavyweight champion coming up. Does she pose any threat? What about LANI? What does she do good in the ring, Clarissa?
Listen, I'm so happy that you asked that. LANI is strong in there. She has a no-quit attitude. She's very unorthodox. And like he said, that they're coming from a Muay Thai background, so he's throwing punches from all different angles. Should have held that, but I'm definitely going to keep that now, because I was trying to understand where all these different punches and stuff coming from when I was watching it. So that's where it comes from. So I'll do some more research up on that for the fight. But she's very like, she's very aggressive, you know. She comes forward. She throws very unorthodox punches, you know. But with that, she's been in there with girls whose skills don't amount to not even close to mine. And I don't want to talk about the power I got up at heavyweight, but y'all gonna see it July 26th. You seen it when I fought against Danielle Perkins. You seen it when I fought against Jonace. But I'm only getting stronger and better as I fight at heavyweight, and I'm getting more comfortable at the weight. So I think that that's what her strong points are, that she's aggressive, that she has a no-quit attitude. And that's why, listen, I'm not looking for the ref to stop the fight against LANI. I'm gonna make LANI quit. I'm gonna make her throw in the towel.
You know, this is the heavyweight division. You showed against Savannah Marshall that you got that dog in you, right? That you're willing to brawl if you have to, but this is brawling at a different weight class.
Yeah.
You're known to be a great boxer, but are you willing to dig deep in this division against LANI?
I beat up all the girls I fight against. I dig deep against all of them. I'm not ever gonna abandon my boxing skills, but is she good enough to make me abandon my boxing skills? Because we all know we got Shakur versus Zepeda coming up July 12th. Shakur not gonna go in there and abandon his skills. Zepeda has to come in there and try to disrupt Shakur game plan, and you have to be a great fighter to do that. So is LANI Daniels a great enough fighter to make me not use my skills, to make me throw away my game plan, that's what it's really about. But if I can go in there and I can pick her up with the jab and hit her with this clean right hand and piece her up and drop her, that's what I'm going to do.
I have one more question,
Yeah.
Clarissa. You predicted a knockout when you came up on the podium. Can you give me a round on that?
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a numbers person. So let's run down the numbers real quick.
Okay.
I won the Olympics when I was 17 years old. Then I won it again when I was 21. Let's just keep that right there. Now, this is my 17th fight coming up. I was giving LANI round 7, and I was going to knock her out, up to round 7. But from what her coach got, he got up there and said today, that done pissed me clean off. Said that she going to stand there and fight me, and she going to brawl with me. It may be another second or third round knockout, man. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Second or third?
If it's not 7, it's going to be second or third.
What do you say to that, Lonnie? Second or third round knockout prediction?
If we're talking numbers, I think I stop her in round 9.
My girl. Okay.
So I was number 9 in UK Who Dares SAS Who Dares wins.
You ain't stopped nobody.
Sleep under number 9 in the gym at
She ain't
home.
stopped nobody.
I'm one of 9 children, and I'm going to stop Claressa Shields in round 9.
What is it going to take? What do you have to do in order to stop Clarissa Shields in
In
round 9?
I have to make it there,
Yeah, that's obvious.
which will mean her theory's wrong.
Oh my God.
I have a question for one of your biggest supporters, Pat Poose. How much better is Clarissa Shields, let's say, from the Savannah Marshall fight? Like, how much is she progressing as a fighter?
First and foremost, I'm here to support my lady, y'all. Make some noise for the quote. To answer your question, man, Clarissa is so great that she gets better every time I watch her perform. Don't y'all agree?
Yeah.
I mean, I commend LANI for stepping up to the challenge, but I don't know what he talking about. She's going down July 26th. I wanted to tell him that. This is, first and foremost, I'm a true fan of boxing. I follow boxing since I was a kid. This right here is one of the greatest ever, male or female, to ever do this, you know what I'm saying? And, me, like I said, when I first came up here, me being here to support my lady, with me comes hip-hop, because hip-hop is in my DNA.
Yes.
So now that we got that established, we've been able to do some great things together, you know what I'm saying? Shout to EAG in the building. I've been an artist, and I've achieved something as an artist, which is called longevity, right? But recently I transitioned to executive. So being executive, I'm head of hip-hop at Win Records. And we've been able to do something amazing, which is bridge the gap between hip-hop and boxing. So July 26th, you will see the boss, Rick Ross, walking the world out to the ring. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can look forward to that. And it's going to just be electrifying. And to answer your question, she's improved in so many ways, because they was talking a lot of shit, right? Before she moved up to heavyweight, oh, she ain't knock nobody out, all of this and that. What happened since she went to heavyweight?
What happened?
Night.
Night.
First fight, right? Second fight, what happened in the second fight? Night again. What's gonna happen July 26th?
Night again.
There y'all go, y'all, the quote.
Thank you, Pat. All right, we're going to go to the press for some questions. Don't be shy. Let's go to the kids.
I have a question for you. So when you fight, then
Lonnie.
LANI, do you feel like if you win some and lose some, it would still be a tie?
What you asking?
So basically, if LANI wins some rounds and you lose some rounds, would it be like a tie?
No, so up in boxing, right, we got 10 rounds, right? And so every round they judge it 10, for the person or 9? So let's say hypothetically, me and her fight, right? And she wins the first round. She get 10 points, I get 9. But the fight isn't over because we still got 10 more rounds, unless a knockout happens, right? So the next round, let's say, I told you first round, she won, right? 10 points, and I got 9. So the second round, let's say I win. So now I got 10 points, she gets 9. So now it's even, right? So we have to keep doing that until we get to the end of the round, or somebody gets knocked out, Lonnie, and then we'll be able to either I'm the winner by knockout, or they have to score each round 10-9. So let me say something about a fight that people don't really pay attention to, right? When somebody loses a round or somebody gets punched hard, their mind changes, right? You think about fighting different and your game plan go out the window. Well, that's the difference between me and all these other fighters. I get hit, my mind doesn't change. I lose a round, my mind doesn't change. I'm only thinking about what can I do to win a fight. When I did MMA, the girl had my arm trying to break it in half, right? I wasn't able to get out. I was gonna let her break it. I wasn't gonna tap, but I was gonna come out the next round and fight her with the other arm that wasn't broke. You see what I'm saying? That's what winners do. Everybody don't have that mentality. That's called a killer instinct. Everybody don't have it where you win at any means necessary. So July 26th, I'm just gonna win at any means necessary. So she can come out there and she can win every round for all I care, but I'm gonna knock her ass out in the 10th round. So the rounds don't matter.
So to answer your question, it's up to the judges, but according to these two ladies, they're not gonna have to go to the judges. Any other questions?
A question for you, Miss Shields.
Miss Shields, yes.
At the end of your career, what impact do you want your legacy to have on not just boxing, but sports as a whole?
Good question, young man.
That's a great question. For me, after my career is over, I want people to know that it doesn't matter where you come from, or who your parents are, or how rough your upbringing is, that you can become whatever you want to be. You can be successful off of making your own life decisions. You know, I want my legacy to be that I fought against everybody, I turned away no challenges, and that I came out on top. I want my legacy just to show everybody that what really matters is not about the wins or the losses. It's all about the mindset of never giving up. You know, there's plenty of times in my career and in my life where I had wanted to give up, but I continued to move forward, and I continue to believe in God. And I think that I want to leave behind. Believe in yourself, believe in God, work hard, and you can make it out of any circumstance. And that goes outside the ring and also inside the ring. Great question, man.
Great question. Any other question, kids? It's an opportunity here. You got the GOAT here. Let's go.
So what are some of the challenges that you've overcome during your career, and how do you overcome them challenges?
Got you. Some challenges that I've had to overcome. Well, you guys know that I won my first Olympic gold medal when I was 17. And after winning that Olympic gold medal, I was the youngest boxer in history to win a gold medal and the only boxer at that games to win a Olympic gold medal, but I didn't get any endorsements or sponsorships, right? And it was everybody else on the team. They were getting sponsorships and endorsements, but the one who won gold didn't get anything. So for 3 years, I just kind of heard people say, like, I didn't get what I deserved, that America is overlooking me, that my gold medal isn't as important as everybody else's. And I dealt with that for 3 years, and it almost made me want to quit boxing. But instead, I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the Olympics again, and I'm going to win the Olympics again, and then see what happens. So right before I got to my second Olympics, I got some endorsements and I got some sponsorships. And that's what I had wanted. And then I went to the Olympics, and then I won gold again. And so with that, I think that was probably like the toughest challenge there, was dealing with that, knowing that I was the best fighter in the world, but I wasn't getting that recognition. Yeah.
2 more questions. Come on.
Hello, my name is Uriel Bath Yahweh, and I wanted to start off by saying congratulations for all of your accomplishments.
Thank you.
You have truly embodied what it means to persevere, self-determination, all of that. And my question is, here at DBG, we believe in turning our passions into purpose.
Yes.
When did you realize that boxing was more than just winning for you?
You know what? I think at the age of 21, I realized that even though boxing was my passion and I felt it was my purpose, was just to be a great boxer, I realized that my purpose that God had given to me was to be the greatest woman boxer in the world, so I can tell everybody about it and tell everybody about how I got here, right? And how I got here was God, right? Believing in God and knowing that He wanted me to tell everybody my story. That's why I'm as big as I am. No other woman boxer has been on this platform that I'm on, right? And I think that when people when they make it and they become successful, they forget about God. And God was like, well, I know you're not going to be like that. So God was like, all I need you to do, see, you thought your purpose was just to win fights. Your purpose is to bring people to me who don't believe, those who feel hopeless and feel faithless. This is your job for me. Yes, you're going to go out there and boxing is going to be the platform, but I want you to be as big as you can be. And when you get up there in front of all those lights and all those people, I want you to tell everybody how you got here. And how did I get here? I got, out of everything I went through, I'm this big so y'all can know that I only made it here with God. So that was my purpose. That's my purpose. And then, of course, to change women's boxing. I'm the first woman to make $1 million, right? The first woman to make $1 million up in boxing. All these first 4-time undisputed, 17-time world champ, all these accolades. And it was like, people just only see the glitz and the glam. But God wants you to know that it's gonna be hard things you have to go through. Everybody think life is just you just show up and you be famous. It's not that easy. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of believing in God that you have to go through, right? So that's what I think that my purpose is, to show everybody, like, listen, it's gonna be hard times, it's gonna be bad times, but you still can make it. So I think that is, at 21, that's when I realized what my purpose was. And I knew that I would be pound number one woman fighter in the world.
There you go. Put God first. Give it up for that. Any more questions?
I wanted to say, what made you want to do boxing, and what motivated you to keep going?
So you wouldn't believe it, right? When I was coming up in school, I played every sport you can think of: softball, basketball, baseball. I ran track and cross country. Volleyball, basketball too. And you know what I just did not like about it? It was team sports. Everything consisted of a team. So you playing basketball, they don't hand you the ball, y'all lose the game. Or they only want to pass the ball to their friends or whoever was popular. And you know, we would lose the game, and I wanted to win. So when I went to the boxing gym and I seen 2 guys sparring in the ring, I said, that's what I want to do. I'm tired of losing. I want to be in control of whether I win or not. I don't want to say, oh, we lost because Tasha didn't hand me the ball, or because, I'm like, I want to do something that's just one-on-one for me. So I like the one-on-one combat sport, and I'm fully in control. Like, you work hard, you train hard, you win. So that was my reason for boxing. Now, what kept me motivated? All the doubters. Oh my God, like when you trying to do something, somebody telling you that you can't do it, you like, oh, I'm gonna show them. I got doubted. When I was 13 years old, they announced that women would be in the first Olympics ever in 2012. I was 13. So I ran around the whole neighborhood every day for 4 years telling everybody, I'm gonna make it to the Olympics. I'm going to the Olympics. I'm gonna win the gold medal in the Olympics. And everybody was like, this girl is crazy. And they kept saying, women don't need to be boxing. It's bad. It's not good. And they just didn't believe in me, right? But all the doubt made me just want to prove it to them more. And then all of a sudden, I was 17, and I was at the Olympics, and I won a gold medal. So that's just how it go, like that.
I think it's a perfect sport for you. If you play basketball, you would never pass the ball. I can see you.
No, I think I would get a lot of texts.
That too. All right. Lastly, since none of you asked Lonnie a question, I have one question. Being that you know you're going into a harsh territory with Everybody in that building is going to be here for this woman. Even everybody here is here for this woman. How are you going to deal with that? And does that worry you at all?
I just feel like I'm just going to have to face it head on. It really does scare me. I'm uncomfortable sitting up here, but I think that's how we get stronger, is to face fear head on. And that's my plan, is just to face it head on and deal with it when it comes.
Thank you. Let's pose for pictures.
How's Dolly?